who dwelt in the famed Papias, and reigned over much people. It struck him under the middle of the collarbone, the bronze point went right through him, coming out at the bottom of his shoulder blade, and his armor rang rattling round him as he fell heavily to the ground. Ajax in turn struck noble Orcus, son of Phemios, in the middle of the belly as he was bestriding Hippothos, and broke the plate of his cuirass, whereon the spear tore out his entrails, and he clutched the ground in his palm as he fell to earth. Hector and those who were in front rank then gave ground, while the Argives raised a loud cry of triumph and drew off the bodies of the Phorcys and Hippothos. They were stripped presently of their armor. The Trojans would now have been worse by the brave Phrygians and driven back to Ilium through their own cowardice, while the Argives, so great was their courage and endurance, would have achieved a triumph even against the will of Zeus, if Apollo had not roused Aeneas in the likeness of Perithous, son of Epitus, an attendant who had grown old in the service of Aeneas' aged father, and was all times devoted to him. In his likeness then Apollo said, Aeneas, can you not manage, even though heaven be against us, to save high Ilium? I have known men whose numbers, courage, and self-reliance have saved their people in spite of Zeus, whereas in this case he would much rather give victory to us than the Danaans, if you would only fight instead of being so terribly afraid. Aeneas knew Apollo when he looked straight at him and shouted to Hector, saying, Hector and all other Trojans and allies, shame on us if we are beaten by the Phrygians and driven back to Ilium through our own cowardice. Our God has just come up to me and told me that Zeus, the supreme disposer, will be with us. Therefore let us make the Danaans, that it may go hard with them ere they bear away dead Patroclus to the ships. As he spoke, he sprang out far in front of the others, who then rallied and again faced the Phrygians. Aeneas speared Leocritus, son of Erisabas, a valiant follower of Lycomedes. Lycomedes was moved with pity as he saw him fall. He therefore went close up and speared Epieson, son of Hippasus, shepherd of his people, in the liver under the midriff, so that he died. He had come from fertile Paeonia, and was the best man of them all after Asteropaeus. Asteropaeus flew forward to avenge him and attack the Danaans, but this might no longer be, inasmuch as those about Patroclus were well covered by their shields, and held their spears in front of them, for Ajax had given him them strict orders that no man was either to give ground or to stand out before the others, but all were to hold well together about the body and fight hand to hand. Thus did a huge Ajax bid them, and the earth ran red with blood, as the corpses fell thick on one another alike the side of the Trojans and allies, and on that of the Danaans. For these last two fought no bloodless fight, though many fewer of them perished, through the care they took to defend and stand by one another. Thus did they fight, as it were a flaming fire. It seemed as though it had gone hard, even with the sun and moon, for they were hidden over all the part where the bravest heroes were fighting about the deaths of the Meniotis, whereas the other Danaans and Phrygians fought at their ease in full daylight with brilliant sunshine all round them, and there was not a cloud to be seen, neither on plain nor mountain. These last, moreover, would rest for a while and leave off fighting, for they were some distance apart and beyond the range of one another's weapons, whereas those who were in the thick of the fray suffered both from battle and darkness. All the best of them were being worn out by the great weight of their armor, but the two valiant heroes, Thrasymedes and Antilochus, had not yet heard of the death of Patroclus, and believed him to still be alive. Leading the van against the Trojans, they were keeping themselves in reserve against death or rout of their own comrades, for so Nestor had ordered when he sent them from the ships into battle. Thus through the livelong day did they wage fierce war, and sweat of their toil rained ever on their legs under them, and on their hands and eyes as they fought over the squire of the fleet of the son of Peleus. It was when a man gives a great ox hide all drenched in fat to his men, and bids them stretch it, whereon they stand round it in a ring, and tug till the moisture leaves, and the fat soaks for the many that pull at it, and it well stretched. Even so did the two sides tug the dead body hither and thither within the compass of a little space. The Trojans steadfastly set on dragging it into Ilium, while the Phrygians were no less so on taking it to their ships. And fierce was the fight between them. Not Ares himself, the lord of hosts, nor yet Athena, even in their fullest fury, could make light of such a battle. Such a fearful turmoil of men and horses did Zeus on the day ordain round the body of Patroclus. Meanwhile Achilles did not know that he had fallen, for the fight was under the wall of Troy, a long way off the ship. He had no idea, therefore, that Patroclus was dead, and deemed that he would return alive as soon as he had gone close up to the gates. He knew that he was not to sack the city, neither with nor without himself, for his mother had often told him this when he had sat alone with her, and she had informed him of the counsels of great Zeus. Now, however, she had not told him how great a disaster had befallen him in the death of one who was far dearest to him of all his comrades. The others still kept on charging one another round the body with their pointed spears and killing each other. Then would one say, my friends, we can never again show our faces at the ships, better and greatly better that earth should open and swallow us here in this place, than that we should let the Trojans have triumph, bearing off Patroclus to their city. The Trojans also on their part spoke to one another, saying, friends, though we fall to a man besides the body, let none shrink from fighting. With such words did they exhort each other. They fought and fought, and an iron clank rose through the void air to the brazen vault of heaven. The horses of the descendants of Aeacus stood out of the fight, and wept when they heard that the driver had been laid low by the hand of murderous Hector. Automedon, valiant son of Diores, lashed them again and again. Many a time did he speak kindly to them, and many a time did he upbraid them, but they would neither go back to the ships by the waters of the broad Hellespont, nor yet into the battle among the Phrygians. They stood with their chariot stock still, as a pillar set over the tomb of some dead man, of woman, and bowed their heads to the ground. Hot tears fell from their eyes as they mourned the loss of their charioteer, and their noble manes drooped all wet from their yoke straps on either side of the yoke. The son of Cronus saw them and took pity upon their sorrow. He wagged his head and muttered to himself, saying, poor things, why did we give you to King Peleus, who is immortal, while you are yourselves ageless and immortal? Was it that you might share the sorrows that befall mankind? For of all creatures that live and move upon the earth, there is none so pitiable as he is. Still, Hector, son of Priam, shall drive you neither nor your chariots. I will not have it. It is enough that he should have the armor over which he vaunts so vainly. Furthermore, I will give you strength of heart and them to bear Automedon safely to his ships from battle, for I shall let the Trojans triumph, self-murder, and go on killing till they reach the ships, whereon night shall fall, and darkness overshadowed the land. As he spoke, he breathed heart and strength into the horses, so they shook the dust from out of their manes, and bore their chariots swiftly into the fight that raged between Trojans and Phrygians. Behind them fought Automedon, full of sorrow for his comrade, as a vulture amid a flock of geese, in and out, and here and there. Full of speed, he dashed amid the throng of the Trojans, but for all the fury of his pursuit, he killed no man, for he could not wield his spear and keep his horses in hand when alone in his chariot. At last, however, a comrade, Alcimedon, son of Laerces, son of Haemon, caught sight of him and came up behind his chariot. Alcimedon, said he, what god has put this folly into your heart and robbed you of your right mind, that you fight the Trojans in the front rank single-handed? He who was your comrade is slain, and Hector plumes himself on being armed in the armor of the descendant of Atreus. Alcimedon, son of Diores, answered, Alcimedon, there is no one else who can control and guide the immortal steeds so well as you can, save only Patroclus, while he was alive. Peer of gods in council, take then the whip and reins, while I go down from the car and fight. Alcimedon sprang up to the chariot and caught up the whip and the reins, while Alcimedon leaped off from the car. When Hector saw him, he said to Aeneas, who was near him, Aeneas, counselor of the mail-clad Trojans, I see the steeds of the fleet son of Atreus come into the battle with weak hands to drive them. I am sure, if you think well that we might take them, they will not dare face us if we both attack them. The valiant son of Anchises was the same mind. The pair went right on, with their shoulders covered under shields of tough dry oxide, overlaid with much bronze. Chromius and Archas went also with them, and their hearts beat high with hope that they might kill the men and capture the horses, fools that they were, for they were not to return scatheless from the meeting with Alcimedon, who prayed to Father Zeus, and was forthwith filled with courage and strength abounding. He turned to his trusty comrade, Alcimedon, and said, Alcimedon, keep your horses so close up that I may feel their breath upon my back. I doubt that we shall not stay, Hector, nor son of Priam. So he has killed us and mounted behind the horses. He will then either spread panic among the ranks of the Phrygians, or himself be killed among the foremost. On the cry, after the two Ajaxes and Menelaus, Ajaxes, captains of the Argives, and Menelaus, give the dead power body over to them that are less able to defend it, and come to the rescue of us living, for Hector and Aeneas, who are the two best men among the Trojans, and pressing us hard in the full tide of war. Nevertheless, the issues lie on the lap of heaven. I will therefore hurl my spear, and leave the rest to Zeus. It poised and hurled as he spoke, whereon the spear struck the round shield of Arcturus,